Okay, it's Adam Harrison from Verbal Guitars, and I am here with you for the Cigar Box Guitar Builder. And I have decided to build myself one of my fretless Rolling Thunders, because believe it or not, I don't actually own one of my guitars. So I've decided to treat myself to a Rolling Thunder. So this is the box we're going to use. One of my favourite Monte Cristo boxes. And I'm going to be using the bottom of the box as the sound chamber. So this is going to be very similar in style to our Lightning Boy guitars, except for the fact that it won't be fretted. It's going to be fretless. So what I've done to start with is I've got myself a length of oak, and the very first thing I've done is just roughed out the shape of the headstock that I'm going to use. This is our standard type of headstock. And here's the box. So what I'll do is I know basically on the box where I want my bridge to be, which is going to be around about this area here, because it leaves me some room for controls here behind the bridge, and it will allow me room for a pickup just here, and it will allow me room for one of the sound hole covers that I use just here. So what I'll generally do is I will find along the neck, so I'll lay my straight edge out, my ruler, to where it will be either 650 millimeters. Flip it over, 25.5. Just here, you see that little notch there that I put? So there's 25.5 inch scale length, okay, which is basically like a fender strap, all right? So now you'll see that I've actually put a mark here on the timber, and then what I will do, I'll take that away. I'll then use this contraption, my T-square or whatever we call that, I can't remember. And what I will then do is I'll mark that point, and that is the tenon that will run inside the lid of the box. Okay, so then I'll pop that there, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. All right, so just here you can see I've got a little bit of plywood, and this is actually what the bridge will actually be sitting on underneath the guitar here. But you can see that I've got a little space just in here, just there. That spot's going to get cut out, and then this will get cut off here. This is the tenon that it will sit inside the box. Now I put the shape of my the underside in, and I measure against the box how far out this is going to extend. So you can see I've actually put in, this is the underside tenon of the three-piece neck that I do. Now, as always, I will say, I don't mind sharing ideas or sharing build tips, but all I ask is that if you're going to take these build tips and build yourself a cigar box guitar, that you build something unique, build something individual. Please don't be afraid to use these ideas, but please don't do a facsimile of my guitars. Do something of your own. So otherwise, rock and roll. All right, so this is where this is going to get cut. So I'm going to cut these into lengths. Okay, so as I've shown you before in the previous video, these are the three pieces that will make up the neck construction, apart from the fingerboard that will go on the top. This piece is the shorter piece. This will sit just there, like so. And this will continue into the box. You'll see the lip of the box will basically fit into there. And here on the box is where the bridge will be sitting. And you can see that they're the same height, these pieces of timber. Okay, so that is what the top of the box is going to actually be sitting on, which will leave cavity just here for the sound hole to sit and a pickup to sit in there as well. Now it's at this point that I'll also use the table router to rough out the angle for the hand, for my hand, so it's going to be nice and smooth and round and comfortable. And also you'll notice just here the comfort contour on the bottom tenon. That's actually just been roughed in as well, and that'll get smoothed out with some 180 grit sandpaper and some 240 sandpaper. But now we're going to drill the holes for, oh, just a little point. When I line them up and I figure out how much space I need, I'll measure out as so. Figure out how long the tenon needs to be to touch the back of the box, and this is where the strap button will be attached in the back of the box there to hold it in place. And then I put these little markings in. I'll put a marking across the top, and this way when I go to actually drill the holes, I'll show you how I set this up. I'll flip this. I'll use one of these clamps. I'll just clamp the neck down. Then here, I'll grab, and I'll try and keep everything in hand's reach of the counter, just to make life a bit easier. And doing this one-handed is not easy, but I'll clamp that there. Just hold that there for the moment, and then the other one is going to be clamped just here. So now what I've done, you can see that these aren't going anywhere. This is all clamped into position. The tenon's clamped into position there. It's nice and straight. I've lined it up with those little markings that I had. The clamp is keeping the main part of the neck on the bench. And I've used one of these countersink screws just here. Now this is where I just eyeball this eyeball it to center, spread the tension, and this will get glued. So all this section here, this will all get glued together at final construction. But now we're just going to get rid of this, and we're just going to sand this so it's nice and flat and lovely. Okay, so our next step is, I'm using my meter ruler again. Here's the mark for the nut, and I'm going to take it down 25.5 inch for the scale length down onto the neck block. I call this the neck block. You can call it Gary if you like, but I will call it the neck block. Now I'm going to be using one of these steel intonatable bridges, and I've measured out where I want the bridge to sit on the block when I do finally screw it down. And I've put a marking on the back just to keep things centered. You can see it's moved a little bit since I put the clamp on, so I'll just adjust that and just make sure I'm happy with where it's sitting. And you'll notice I haven't drilled any holes in the top, so there's nothing, I haven't actually set any position for this as yet. So this may sit somewhere, it'll sit somewhere on that block, but as long as those two back screws, just here, the two rear screws are mounted. The front ones, you could almost not use the front ones, but it is good to, obviously, to have it mounted on all four screw positions, of course. So I'll just straighten this up a little bit, and then I'll show you the next step. That's the basic 3-piece neck assembly. You'll notice we've glued and screwed this now, so this isn't going anywhere. The two screws that are in there, they won't interfere with the positioning of the bridge in any way. And the other thing is that from the top of the guitar, as I put the ground wire through, the ground wire will go in between these two screw points. So if I just flip over here, this is an order that we're doing at the moment for a customer. You'll see that this is the finished neck assembly. It's had a couple of coats of oil, and this is almost ready for basically being put into the box and final assembly at this point. Okay, so you can see we've drilled the tuner holes, and we are ready to glue on the fingerboard. Okay, so this brings us to the end of stage 1 of the build. So the neck is, the fretboard's getting glued on here. The neck's basically about 80% sanded at the moment, or rough sanded at the moment. And the tenon, we've got everything's glued up here. for the bridge block. You can also see down here we've put the cleats in the box, just the reinforcing of the box. And this technically is the end of stage 1. So from this point, basically, you can then go on to fretting the guitar, building a fretted instrument. Choices of pickups are endless. I'll pick this up tomorrow, and we'll do another video on the next stage that we do. So remembering that this is a fretless Rolling Thunder guitar. You can buy Rolling Thunder guitars and Cigar Box guitars from our website at burbwoodguitars.com. If you're interested in purchasing one, just let us know. We do have some specials going at the moment due to the COVID-19, so we have 19% off our pre-made guitars, Cigar Box guitars at the moment. So anyway, little advert for that, for us. It has been Adam from the Cigar Box Guitar Builder. Remember, if you like what you see tonight, click subscribe. All right, and stay tuned for more in stage 2 of the Rolling Thunder build. Bye.